Man, it is so much fun to hit the ball long and straight. But as we age, get 50 years old, 60, even 70 years old, it starts becoming harder and harder to do. Feels like we're just losing ground every year and we just can't hit it as far as we used to. So old guys like us, I know you laugh, I'm only 51, you're probably older if you're watching this video, but we need some tricks to hit it a little bit further. So right after this, let me give you 5 nice little tips that are all going to help you hit your drives farther in the coming year. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve with HitItLonger.com. I continue my mission to hit it longer and straighter off the tee than ever before. Try to keep up with when I was young and really nailing it out there. So if that's a goal of yours as well, or maybe just to hit it a few yards longer, then by all means join me by hitting the subscribe button right down there, and support my channel by hitting the like button and leaving a comment down below. All right, let's get it started with one I don't think you're going to hear on too many other channels, and that is make sure that your grips fit your hands. So after teaching thousands of lessons, I can say with confidence that between 1/4 and 1/3 of my male students have grips that are too big for them. Often standard grips are too big. How would you know? So the way I know this grip fits me, this is a mid-size grip. The way that I know here, I have my index finger, my 4th finger, ring finger, and my middle finger are able to touch my glove right there. In fact, my pinky can almost come around and touch, but certainly we need at least one finger to be able to reach around and touch the glove. And see, again, I'm gripping it in the fingers. I'm not cheating by gripping it in the palm to do that. But with a proper grip at the base of the fingers, if you can't get a finger to touch the grip by wrapping around, then you need to drop down to the smaller size. Say 1/16 inch undersize, something like that. Ask for that. The grips are too big for you and it's really preventing you from being able to snap your wrists full range of motion and quickly, which really knocks the ball out there. All right, tip number 2. A lot of people who start losing their distance, well, they're just not using their wrists enough anymore. Want to make sure that you're able to go from at least a 90-degree wrist cock. So a lot of people fall short of this. They go 60, 70, 80 degrees only of wrist cock. I want you to get yourself practice getting to 90 degrees of wrist cock. And then on the follow through, equally getting 90 degrees recocked again at the right forearm so that you're going 180 degrees freely through. If not more, you might even, if you're flexible enough, go 100 degrees and 100 degrees. A great way to do that, in fact, you can even do this exercise sitting at home watching TV, is just practice. Sit on the sofa, cock the wrist to 90, cock the wrist to 90. There's 180 degrees. Here I can cock it even more. There's like 110 and 110. So I just can sit there watching a TV show and practice cocking and snapping the wrist. Now, as we get older, one thing that definitely starts to downtrend is our strength and power. We're just not as strong and as powerful as we were when we were 18 or 25 years old. But golf has a way of allowing us to catch up. And that is with the weight of the shaft. So a lot of standard shafts, if you just bought your shaft right off the rack, is probably coming with something like a 60 to 65 gram shaft. If you got a lighter shaft just by accident almost, it might be in the mid-50s. But shaft technology's come a long way. If you haven't checked lately, then now we're making shafts that are under 40 grams. In fact, shafts in the low 40 gram range are starting to be pretty common, but you may not necessarily find them coming with that driver that you bought at the golf supermarket or the online store. So you have to kind of check and make sure. You can always check. See, I see this shaft for me, this is at 53 grams. So this is a pretty darn light shaft for me. Allows me to go a little bit faster than when I was swinging, say, a 70 gram shaft. Just cutting down about 10 to 15 grams can perk up your club head speed by 2, 3, even 4 miles an hour almost immediately. So keep an eye on, check what your gram weight is. If it's not marked on the shaft, search for it online for the specs on the shaft that is in your driver, and see if you can't get an aftermarket shaft installed that's 10 to 15 grams lighter. All right, another big issue that happens as we get older and our club head speed starts to drop is that club head speed is what helps us create lift. Most older golfers who are struggling with their distance are not launching the ball at a high enough launch angle. So they're trying to rely too much on roll and they're losing overall distance. So to combat that, I want you to get out of that habit of either playing the ball in the middle of your stance with the driver, which is really bad, and even the old textbook left instep or just a ball off the left instep is really going to be hurting you. And what I'd rather see you do is get the ball up another 4 or 5 inches. And even if you had to, play it off the big toe, even to the middle toe, something like this, so you can launch this thing higher. Watch, I'll play this way off my front foot. Get lots of carry distance by launching it way up in the air. All right, the last idea, which we start to lose a lot of because, you know, as we get older, it's not necessarily that our flexibility curve drops off the cliff as we get older compared to when we were younger. It's just that we just don't do activities where we move like that anymore. We just become so sedentary. You know, we used to play sports, we used to stretch every day, we were in high school, college. Now we sit our asses on the sofa and eat chips and peanuts and whatever your favorite snack is while we watch our movie on Netflix. And unfortunately, that's the bigger reason on why we've lost flexibility and our swings get short and narrow. So it's definitely a big potential. It's a gold mine for club head speed and distance if you can practice taking the club back longer and wider. Now, before you do it on a golf ball, you should be doing this for 5 minutes a day out in the backyard, and that is just trying to swing long. Notice I'm doing this pretty easily, and even pausing at the top to check and make sure that I've taken the club back far enough. Practice it out in the yard first. Keep pressing out of your comfort zone, longer, wider, and then give it a few weeks, and then you can try to take it to the driving range first, hit some balls with your new longer swing. You'll see you're going to spray them at first, but that just means you haven't got it yet. Just keep sticking to it, and that longer, wider swing will start to become more coordinated and normal, and it's going to net you at least 15 or 20 more yards. Now, since I'm such a nice guy, I'm even going to give you one more bonus tip, inspired by my student Juanito, who's 83 years old. He's in a quest to get his drives back to 180 or even 200 yards is his goal. Hey, we started at 135 yards at about 63 miles per hour. So on our last lesson, he was able to achieve a speed on a practice swing of about 74 miles an hour. And this was one of his keys. Yes, we're working on the longer, wider as well, which he's actually pretty good at. Juanito can take it all the way back to parallel. But what he does incredibly poorly is he'll take it all the way back, and then he'll hit it and he'll stop right about here. He'll give up on it and stop too early. So that would be like if you're in a drag racer, slowing the card down before you get to the finish line. Well, your opponent is going to catch up to you and pass you if you do that. So we want to keep foot to the floor all the way through impact and into the follow through is our intention, so that club reaches maximum speed at impact. We want it to actually wrap around and touch our backs, almost feeling like you're going to break the shaft on your back, like this. So I still felt like I was trying to continue to accelerate the club all the way up here. I was still trying to make it go fast to the point where I didn't have much time to slow it down and only my back could slow it down. So don't quit and stop early. Don't hit at the ball like you've heard read in a magazine. Don't hit at the ball, but swing all the way through the ball to a full finish. All right, hopefully a couple of those tips were right in your wheelhouse. Gonna take them out and try them. Report back if you get some distance from them. I always love to hear success stories. Hey, thanks for watching. As usual, I'm Steve, and if I don't see you in the next video, which I hope you'll watch, but if I don't, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.